fucking yes me. 'Cause we stay all late. And I'm wide awake. I'm not coming home tonight. So the next time, when I'm borderline, I'll read you this note. I'm not coming home tonight.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Pass Interference Podcast. I am your host, of course, as always, Max Whirling. How's everybody doing this morning, evening, afternoon, whenever you're listening to this wonderful podcast that we have here? And, of course, you can download and listen to this podcast, if you're already listening to, on all the major podcast websites. You got Spotify, you got iTunes, you got Google Podcasts, you got our home, Podbean. There's like Castbox. There's a whole lot of shit out there. We're everywhere. We're viral, like an infection. We're viral. So, speaking of very cold, very infectious places, of course, I'm gonna turn it to my co-hosts here, who are both in frigid ass Maryland as we speak. So the first co-host is, of course, to my imaginary right. It is Johan Jonathan Eckert. How are you, good sir?
Doing pretty good. Keeping my place nice and toasty. It's cold all over, the United States. It was only negative 15 this morning when I woke up, and I mean, I'll count my blessings because over in Chicago it's like negative 60. So I'm not gonna complain too much.
And I'm gonna be there next week.
And of course, as he always doesn't wait for his introduction because he doesn't believe he ever needs an introduction. That is, of course, to my imaginary left. That is Bronson Pompilio. How are you tonight, sir?
I am fantastic.
Yeah.
Looking forward to this episode. And I'm going to put this out here. Emma forgot to make my dinner, so I will be eating Mickey D's at some point here in the middle of this podcast.
No!
Trouble part 2.
No! Bronson from Beyond the Grave, part 2, people. Let's do it.
All right.
That sounds awful. That sounds awful. All right, so let's get to it. So we really don't have much to talk about this week. We have, of course, the Super Bowl, which we'll talk about later in the show, but we have some news articles, some news stuff to go over. Get excited, people, because next week, when the Super Bowl's over and we can start counting everything, next week will be the beginning of our mock drafts and of our prospects, and we're going to start looking at some prospects, maybe highlighting some people that we really enjoy watching. As Bronson said so eloquently last week, he loves fucking defense, so he'll probably be our defensive guru, whereas John and I'll be the quarterbacks guy. John could be, I don't know, like a little running back, little bitch backs or whatever,
I'll cover wide receivers too, man.
Yeah, why don't you let John cover them wide receivers, because he's going to be on a wide receiver needy team, and you let me look at them running backs, because we're probably going to be in the market for one of them.
It just depends. Actually, that kind of segues into one of the news stories that I didn't key you guys in on, but one of the news stories that did come out, which was the Jets have actually come out and reportedly said that they won't break the bank for Le'Veon Bell. So there's a suitor there that says, hey, we want him on the team, but we're not necessarily going to give him necessarily what he's looking for, which as of last year was a 5-year, $70 million offer, which included about $33 million of guarantees. Now,
well, breaking the bank and then breaking the bank for the Jets are probably two different things with their cap situation.
Well, they have $100 million, but if you think about it, they're probably going to spend mostly on I would say pass rushers. If they don't want to pay in the draft, getting a pass rusher, and by pay I mean drafting one as high as they are, then look for them to just say, hey, all right, we'll wait until, we're going to make some moves in free agency, and then we'll address another need that they have in the draft. Now, there's already rumors out there that Le'Veon's preferred destination's Miami. However, Miami is in rebuild mode, which is they're going to start a lot of young guys, which we've talked about before, which is what they needed to do. They're going to start a lot of young guys. They're not going to break the bank on free agents. They're just going to ride it out this year and hopefully get a quarterback in 2020. So I don't know. I mean, it's starting to look bad news bears for Le'Veon Bell in terms of where he wants to go and who's going to sign him.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, but I feel like Miami's cap situation is already like at its dire straits. So like, if you're in rebuild mode trying to sign him, it just would only conflict with what you're trying to do completely.
Exactly. So,
yeah.
And John, I mean, you look at the suggestions for the that he could go for the total suggested teams. You have the Buccaneers, who do not have cap space whatsoever as we speak today. The Eagles, which are very desperate need of cap space as well. You have the Raiders, who probably would welcome Le'Veon Bell with open arms, and you have the Dolphins, who again are looking to rebuild. I mean, besides that, there's always the interest of the Colts, but the Colts have Marlon Mack, and why would you spend big when you have a running back that can do everything, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, here's what it boils down to. I mean, I'm a firm believer that Le'Veon should be paid. I mean, he's proven that he is one of the most elite running backs in the league. But what's going to boil down to is, I mean, I feel like he's going to have to buckle at some point because, I mean, do you want to, play for the Raiders and make a whole bunch of money if they offer him what he's looking for? Or would you rather go to a team like Philly, take a little bit of a pay cut, but you're already on a team that's proven the last few years that no matter who's at the quarterback position, I mean, they're going to go deep. I mean, what do you want to do? I mean, I have a feeling he might hold out maybe, but I mean, for how long? I mean, he's already missed an entire year. And, I'm sure he wants to play. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But, I mean, at a certain point, he's going to have to sit down and be like, okay, I know I'm one of the best in the league. There may not be a lot of teams out there that want to shell out that kind of money. But, I mean, at a certain point, you have to make a decision because, I mean, you can't hold out for a whole other year. I mean, I just don't think he can come back from that. I might be wrong. But, I mean, I feel like a team like Philadelphia would be perfect for him.
Yeah, I mean, the fit's there because they're definitely going to need a running back because Jay is, of course, a free agent, but he's coming off of his second ACL tear of his entire career, which I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't bring him back more than anything than league minimum than what he can earn. It's just all about that cap situation. If we look at their cap as we speak today, looking at overthecap.com, great website, great tool for everything like that. They are $15 million over the cap as we speak. Yeah. They are $15 million. Now they can save, as we've talked about before, they can save $18 million by getting rid of Nick Foles. They can save $7 million by cutting Timmy Jernigan if they want to go that route. Jason Peters they can save money on. Nelson Aguilar they can save money on. So there's a way to get down. Michael Bennett, Jason Kelsey.
Well, they did just rework Ronnie McLeod's contract, which was a $10 million cap hit.
Yeah, so if they rework that, then that'll help them definitely. But even still, that wouldn't negate everything. That's just pushing off money to. That's just pushing money off till next year. So this is, I mean, looking at it now, even though you had a $10 million cap hit, you rework it down to, let's say, 6. I mean, that's $4 million even, and that's being generous. It's scary. And that's still a good roster, but I mean, you gotta cut ties where you can cut ties. So, like I said,
well, here's what I am looking at. Like, don't shoot me for saying this, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kareem Hunt had a bigger market than Le'Veon did.
Yeah,
He's younger too.
I would say he's younger. He's not going to cost as much money, especially, like I said.
Nowhere near as much.
Nowhere near
Not
as
even,
much.
Not even like, I'd say like 4-5 million less than what he's trying to make a year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I could see it. Like I said, it's not. I wouldn't doubt it at all. It's just, ultimately, like I said, it's going to come down to a few options, few things, which is basically obviously money, and it's also going to come down to
swear to God, if the Bears make him an offer, I'll fucking
I don't see it.
Lose it. I could see it. Okay, this is like the night before the draft. I have the same feeling in my stomach, just like I did the night before the draft. I remember walking into work and being like, guys, the Bears are going to do something stupid tomorrow. I was just saying, I'm like, they're going to do something stupid and like take Mitch Trubisky. And that's what I was saying, like all day. And I was like, just saying, I just want the Bears to take Jamal Adams, look at Mahomes in the second round. Please, God, don't take Trubisky. Like, I feel it. Like, I was just like talking about it. And then the next day, granted, it's all water under the bridge, but it worked out, and I'm a believer now, and that's great. But like, I swear to God, if we decimate our cap for Le'Veon, I'll kill stuff.
No, you look at the teams out there. So we've talked about the Colts at the beginning of the year, yes, but since Marlon Mack, as long as he's healthy, he's good to go, then that's a no. Jets obviously won't break the bank. The Browns are a no. The Bills are a no. The Raiders, yes, I could see him going to the Raiders, and the Raiders spending money on him. Because think about it, they're going to be moving to Vegas in 2020. You got to have some marquee franchise player out there. You just can't have, fucking Doug Martin as your running back. It's not going to work.
God forbid if it's Khalil Mack.
Yeah, for real. I mean, oof. Here's an idea. If they want, they can get rid of Lamar Miller. Say what you want. He's been a productive back his entire career, and he was productive last year, but they could get rid of Lamar Miller and, save $6 million, and they still have about $65 million. They could theoretically go after Le'Veon, give another weapon to Deshaun Watson there. 49ers, I don't see it with how Jerick McKinnon and especially how they played down the stretch there. I don't see them necessarily going there. Seahawks, no. Maybe, actually, I'll put a maybe on it.
I don't see it as much because of how well Chris Carson was doing late in the season.
Yeah. So, it's about...
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, you look at these teams that could potentially be making offers to him. Mm-hmm. None of them are going to be the offers that he wants. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears are like, yeah, why don't we give you like a 3-year... How much does he want a year?
He wants about $15 million, so 3 years. So he would get like the David Johnson extension. That's what David Johnson ended up getting. He got 3 years, about $45 million.
Yeah. I literally could see it. Like, I could see the Bears re-signing Amos or Callahan, one of the two, and then just breaking the bank. Because we got like another 2 years with Mitch before we need to think extension.
Yeah.
So I mean, fucking see it, man. I could so see it, and then we like trade Jordan Howard away for like a 3rd or a 4th round pick to like the Ravens or someone else.
Yeah,
the Eagles.
There's also, I mean, I hate to say it too, but I mean, Green Bay could finally make that big push. They've got a ton of cap space, and they theoretically, even though they've got Aaron Jones there, they theoretically could add that top tier player next to Aaron Rodgers that they never got for Brett Favre. I hate to throw it out there too, but maybe my Redskins could be players, and the reason I say that is regardless of who's going to be the quarterback next year, is the offense won't focus on the quarterback until they decide what they're going to do. If they draft a young guy, then what's better than having a great security blanket in Le'Veon Bell? If they go with Colt McCoy again, what's better than having a great security blanket than Le'Veon Bell? Plus, Darius Geis is also coming off his knee injury, so you're gonna need some help there. So I mean, the Redskins could cut down some space and theoretically make a play for him as well. So it will be. I will say this: it will be very, very interesting.
Yeah, I think your money's gonna get spent on quarterbacks before it does on running backs, though.
It just depends, though.
I could see you guys like shelling out like a Jay Cutler to Miami type deal, like a 1 or 2 year, like a 1 year deal, $12 million or some shit.
But there's not really going to be that good of a market out there, you know. There's Tyrod Taylor, which I don't see us going.
Joe, Tannehill, and Nick Foles. That's a pretty damn good market.
Well, Tannehill, by all intents and purposes, Dolphins aren't getting rid of Tannehill. They're just going to stick with him for 1 more year, and then that's it. They're done with him. So, because like I said, they want to get as high up as possible, and I think Tannehill is too awful of a quarterback to win them more than 5 games. So, especially with a depleted roster. So I think they just stick with it, and then that way they're able to cut free of him. Because if they were to cut him this year, for example,
they save like 16 mil.
Technically, it would be a wash. So there would be a $13 million dead hit, but they would save $13 million. So it'd be like a wash, essentially. Whereas if they wait next year, they can save $20 million by cutting them. And they'll also have $91 million in cap space next year. So they could save themselves just by, like I said, just doing basically a moratorium on this year. By all intents and purposes, they've also said that they're not going to go be big players for free agencies at all. So
I don't know, man. Like I get the vibe that I've been seeing all season long that they don't want to keep him anymore, that they're over him. I think they're going to get rid of him. I think, Flores, who's going to be their coach? I think he said something along that fact in his interview. And I'm also seeing too much about how much the owner of the Miami Dolphins is obsessed with Tua. I think he literally kills the quarterback position to get his guy.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Like I said, I don't think Tannehill is worth more as your quarterback worth more than maybe 3-4 wins, especially if they're not making any adjustments. And I think they didn't do that well this year in terms of everything. So, in terms of him being a starter this year, I don't think they were that good. I think they were maybe 2-4 or something. So,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think they get rid of him. Take the cap back now, and see where they go from there. I mean, the extra $4 million is one thing, but thank you, babe. But I think I just don't see him on the roster. I think the fans, they're going to need to sell the fans fully on the rebuild, and I think it's going to look kind of like a Detroit Lions type year.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Absolutely. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, as for the quarterback market for the Redskins, by all intents and purposes, what I've heard is that they're going to draft a quarterback. God damn, your rapper's loud as shit.
I'm sorry, my mic's close to my face, man.
we gotta get you a USB mic or something, man. Cause
you're a USB mic.
Your face is a USB mic. You can hear everything. Yeah, you can hear everything from it.
Get the whole McDonald's experience.
Oh my god,
dude! I'm sorry.
Unprofessional.
Yeah, I tried. It's not my fault. I'm sorry. I'm unprofessional.
It's okay. Fuck with you.
It's Emma's fault.
But you won't say that loud.
I told her I wasn't mad, so I'm just like trying to be nice about it. But I was so mad.
Remind me to cut that out of the podcast in case your fiance listens to this.
No, let her listen.
Oh, you weren't angry.
Bullshit, I wasn't angry.
I literally was at work open to close today, and I couldn't even get my orange chicken.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I forgive you. All right. The other thing is, too, of course, is with the Redskins. We'll move into their stuff here. That's a perfect segue to talking to the Redskins. They have a new offensive coordinator. They've actually demoted Matt Cavanaugh. He will be the senior offensive assistant. And the Redskins promoted quarterbacks coach Kevin O'Connell. Now, Kevin O'Connell used to play in the league. Didn't do too much, I don't believe. But he is a 33-year-old assistant, and they really believe in him. I think it's a good hire in terms of everything. A little bit in terms of like a kind of
only
like
the Redskins learned to promote their assistants sooner.
Yeah.
They definitely learned their lesson.
Yeah,
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
No, it's fine. It is what
The
it
Mickey
is,
D's brings the best out in me.
I think I like Bronson from Beyond the Grave a little bit better when the Mickey D's comes out, but yeah, I will say this. I like Kevin O'Connell. I mean, he did great work for what he did last year. Alex Smith played okay. And for what he got out of everybody else, they played fine. Matt Cavanaugh, his play calling was a little so, but that's okay. I'm excited to see what he can do with this team, and of course, like what Bronson alluded to, the last young quarterbacks coach to turn into offensive coordinator was Sean McVay, who they would, who later, as we now know, coached the Rams. Sorry, I'm getting text messages and being blown up by everything. Jesus Christ, people, leave me alone. Sorry, my boss is texting me. I have a new shift at work, and we're trying to work out the details and everything like that. You guys, what do you think about the promotion of Kevin O'Connell?
I like it.
Solid.
Yeah.
Get new blood in there, man.
Yeah, get a nice fresh young mind in there. Someone that's been with the organization too. I mean, I like it. I mean, it seems like they're trying to, find possibly their next McVay. And if he does well, and if Jay Gruden struggles, I mean, they might be looking at him for a long term after that. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and the rumor was too that a lot of teams were looking to bring him in either for same position as quarterbacks coach, which I think the team denied, or possibly as an offensive coordinator. So, keep your team, or keep your coaches where you want to keep them. And of course, that was with the Redskins, and the Redskins think highly of him. So I'm happy for it. I like it. Could bring happiness to me. So, and in other Redskins news, the expectation and the reality has set in that Alex Smith, of course, will miss the entire 2019 season. So, I don't think did we talk about when he was at the Wizards game and how awful that fucking brace looked like?
Yeah. Interesting how the news came out right after. They're like, yeah, this doesn't look good. He's definitely not playing next year.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give the guy all the credit in the world if he wants to continue his career, but I wouldn't. I mean, he's made a good amount of money in his career. He's got 80 million reasons to literally 80 million reasons why he shouldn't play another down in his career. Just leave it as it is, man. I would not play anymore. I would just retire off into the sunset and look to maybe be a coordinator or just take some time off, be with family.
Yeah, seriously. Just talk to Zach Miller for some advice, bud.
Yeah, exactly. Other news, of course, as well, is in terms of coordinators and staying in the NFC East, is the fact that, where is it? Kellen Moore again, another blast from the past, person that we watched as players growing up. Kellen Moore will be the offensive coordinator, the new offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. He is being promoted from the quarterback's coach, as we know. John Kitna will be taking over his position. Again, another fucking player that we watched growing up. So, Kellen Moore, 29 years old. Here's the funny thing about it. A lot of people have said that
what I find crazy, though, let's just talk about this, is they have so many quarterbacks in that building. How is Dak not an all-pro?
Yeah.
You have John Kitna, you have Jason Garrett, you have Kellen Moore, you have whoever the hell the backups are in Dallas. That's another 2. How many fucking quarterbacks do you need?
There's no excuse now.
Yeah, legitimately. So, I mean, here's the thing. Dak had a great first rookie season, had a awful sophomore season, and then his last season, his junior season as we can call him, had almost similar numbers to, like, he's very consistent. Here's the thing with Dak. If you look at his career numbers, right? First year in the league, 68% or 67.8. Second year, the slump, 62.9. But this year, 67.7. Touchdowns. First year compared to this year, 23 touchdowns in his first year. Last year, 22 touchdowns. Interceptions, 4 interceptions to 8 interceptions. So the guy is consistent. Say what you want. He's just not, like what you said, he's just not now pro level. And I don't think he's worthy. I think he's a above average starter. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback per se. I think he is your.
Do you put him on Denver and they win a Super Bowl?
Denver 2 years ago, yes. Denver last year, this past season, no. Denver still has issues with, I believe, offensive line.
Well, they're missing Wade Phillips hard.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, and that's why they hired Vic, because they want that defense to be the front runner again. But it'll be interesting to see. Now, what I was going to say about Kellen Moore was the fact that little bio on him, little quick bio. He was the former quarterback at Boise State, and if I'm not mistaken, he is or was the most winningest college football quarterback.
Hey, wasn't he drafted by Detroit?
Let's see here. He was, I believe. Hold on, let's see here. Yes, he was. No, he was not drafted, but he was a undrafted free agent.
Yeah, I remember seeing that and being upset because I liked him coming out of college.
Yeah, he was the first quarterback in FBS history to win 50 games in his career.
Wasn't that the same draft as RG3 and Kirk Cousins?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now the thing with Kellen Moore, though, why he went undrafted and why he didn't do good as a pro is because while he was very accurate and his mechanics were sound, he had little to no arm strength. I mean, it was bad.
He was a lefty too, wasn't he?
Yes. Let me see. I believe so.
Not that
yes.
it's important, but it's very rare to see left-handed quarterbacks.
No, there's only I forget who I was looking up. I looked up somebody, and there's only been 32 left-handed quarterbacks in the NFL, and if you think about it, none of them have only maybe 5 have been fantastic.
Yeah, number 1 being Vic.
Yeah.
Steve Young.
Okay.
Steve Young 1.
Yeah.
Vic 2. Ken Stabler 3. And that's it. That's so you got 3.
It's only a top 3. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, there left-handed quarterbacks. I mean, that's my only concern with Tua is how is he going to fare as a left-handed quarterback? Now he's a different breed. I get it, and you look at the stuff he does, and it's incredible and how efficient he is. But I see the same traits as a Matt Leinart. I see him incredibly accurate in the shorts and the mediums. Downfield is questionable, and I don't think his arm strength is that good. I think it's okay. I think it's average to above average, but it's not like Michael Vick's fastball. It's not like a Mahomes fastball. It's not going to get there. It's just gonna float a little bit, and yeah. That's my only concern with Tua is in left-handed quarterbacks is for some reason they just can't get enough torque on the ball unless of course you're Michael Vick. So,
right.
But yeah,
A little flick of the wrist.
Yep. But yeah, Kellen Moore, he has the all-time record for wins by starting quarterback with a 50-3 record. So he had 50 wins, 3 losses, which is incredible. In this day and age. So the guy is a winner. He is 29 years of age. He'll be 30 in July, so he is very young, and that's what the league likes. The league likes young players and young coaches. So good for the Cowboys. We'll see what he can do. So
he's going to freaking unseat Jason Garrett.
Probably. Yeah, that was the other.
He was also told he's not getting his extension.
Yep, that was the other deal that news that just came out is that he is not getting an extension. So be interesting to see what happens because I think they give him one more year. If he can make the playoffs again next year, then they'll be fine. But I think he's gone after next year. Honestly, I don't think he is back after this year. So
yeah.
The other news that came out too that was significant. Former NFC East player, now NFC South, Deshaun Jackson, says that if he were to be released or traded, he would want to go to the Los Angeles Rams, where of course he had most of his success with Washington with Sean McVay as his offensive coordinator. Now, John, I'll start with you. What do you think the likelihood of Deshaun Jackson going over to Los Angeles is?
Well, I guess it really depends because, when Bruce Arians first took the job there, one of the first things he said is, I want to keep Deshaun Jackson. Now, how much the front office really listens to that, if Deshaun comes out and says, okay, I'll stay, but you have to pay me, more than his worth, I'm sure they're probably not going to want to do that. But, the other thing is, can LA afford him too? If he really wants to go over there, I don't blame him with how great they're playing. And like you said, the success that he had with McVay in Washington, be a perfect fit. Just think about all the freaking weapons that they have over there, especially with him joining potentially. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Now that Jackson's throwing that out there, saying, I kind of like to end up in LA. Well, does that mean that they're not really having great negotiations between him and the Bucks, or how badly does Bruce Arians really want to hold on to him, and is that gonna affect his price tag there? I think it'd be cool to see him in LA. That would just be insane, but. It all comes down to how much Bruce Arians and the front office really wants to hold on to him.
Here's my take on that. There's a few things. I don't think Deshaun's really going to command such a high price because of lack of production over the last several years and health concerns. But I also don't think he's going to go to LA at all because that role's filled in LA. It's Brandon Cooks' job. He's younger, faster probably, and there's no need for him on the team. McVay has no reason to make a trade for him. There's other needs on the defensive side of the ball that they need to focus on outside of receiver. Receiver is the least of their worries, and they tried the double speedy receiver thing. They had Cooks and Sammy Watkins, and they were like, we don't really have a place for you, Sammy. So goodbye. So they traded him to a team that didn't trade him. They let go of a guy that they didn't feel fit their system, and then Sammy went to a team that also kind of barely used him in Kansas City. Granted, he was effective when he was on the field, but at the end of the day, he didn't really do much either. I mean, he's just like, I don't see Deshaun Jackson going to that offense and really having a role.
Yeah, I don't either, because like what you said, you've got Brandon Cooks. Also, you have Robert Woods, who, you know, he's a bigger body, but he's also a deep downfield threat. And a lot of people are forgetting of Cooper Kupp, who, yes, he is injured. And, you know, unless Deshaun Jackson's willing to take a massive pay cut, which I don't foresee him doing, as much as I've enjoyed Deshaun in Washington, he's been about pay me. And Los Angeles isn't going to have the cap to pay him. You know, they're especially not at $10 million, or even if he wants $5 million. You know, that's allocating your cap to a dumb cause, essentially. Right. So, if I had to put a percentage on it, and I'll circle back. If I had to put a percentage on it, I would say, we'll say 25. I'll say 25%. John?
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again.
If you had to put a percentage on it.
On the likelihood of him going to LA?
Yes.
I mean, I would say 25% or lower, honestly. I mean, like you guys said, I mean, there's really no room for him there. And then, you know, I agree with Bronson. I mean, they have a lot better needs to cover, especially on defense. I mean, why bring in the guy when you have Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, and you have Cooper Kupp coming back? And, you know, Cooper Kupp, you know, I'm sure it might take him a little while to get back in the swing of things, but I mean, that man's a beast too. I mean, there's no need to add a guy like Deshaun Jackson to, you know, that kind of depth at wide receiver.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then Bronson, what would you put the likelihood of it?
2.5%.
I like it.
I mean, I'm looking at their roster right now in terms of their wide receivers.
I mean, even their like fourth string guys are serviceable.
Yeah,
There's no reason.
They have Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Josh Reynolds, who's played well.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Thomas, not that Mike Thomas, but a Mike Thomas. Hell, they even have Ricky Proehl's son, Austin Proehl. You know, they've got enough wide receivers. They don't need Deshaun Jackson unless Deshaun's gonna be like, hey, I'll split out and play running back or whatever. I don't see it happening. But yeah, it's interesting that he was just like, yeah, let me go to the Rams. Like, what? No, they don't need you, Deshaun. No, I can help them out. No, Deshaun, no, they don't want you. No, I can help them out. Deshaun, shut the fuck up. Just So, let me see here. All right, and then finally,
I could see Deshaun going to the Niners.
Yeah, doing
like a 1-year deal. I don't know,
yeah,
1-year deal.
Doing what Pierre Garçon couldn't do, which was be that kind of speedy guy, that durable, that guy who, can go deep and all that stuff. Even then, though, they have Marquise Goodwin, who's younger.
Right, but he's like a possession slot receiver. They shouldn't be like lining him up outside. Put him in the slot. Put Deshaun on the outside. Get a receiver on the outside.
Work some underneath routes with Goodwin, and then go over the top with Deshaun.
Yeah,
I could see it.
Yeah.
So,
I could see him going there. I could see him going to the Raiders. I could see him. Hell, even with.
I can see him going to the Colts.
Maybe, but I feel like T.Y. Hilton's a younger version of him.
Yeah, but that way you can work T.Y. everywhere on the field at that point, because then you can work T.Y. in the slot. You can work him underneath. You can work him as true number one. And Deshaun can just go. You just tell Deshaun go run, go routes.
I could see Cardinals, Raiders, Niners. I guess I could see the Colts too, but like I don't think that's where they're going to spend their money is with him.
No, but again, it'd be like a 1-year kind of prove it deal. And I mean, you look at and also the free agency class of wide receivers doesn't inspire much confidence in anybody. I mean, the best name, like we talked about before, was Randall Cobb.
Right.
I mean, besides that, Dante Moncrief, ugh. Tavon Austin, ugh. Golden Tate, ugh.
Yeah.
Like, like it doesn't inspire much confidence. So, anywho, we move on from there to the bad news, people. Tom Brady is coming back at least for one more year, even if he wins or loses this Super Bowl. He has said that there is a 0% chance he retires after Super Bowl 53. And in doing so, Robert Kraft, being the crafty man that he is, you see what I did there? Puns are funny. Puns are funny. He is... he's looking to sign him to a contract extension. Why sign him to a contract extension? Well, Tom Brady's going to have a $27 million cap hit this upcoming, season. So if you could work out a contract extension with him and lower that, and he's only got 1 year left. So 2019 is technically the end of his contract. So if you could spread it out to another 2-3 years and lower that cap hit by $10-15 million, that helps his team out tremendously.
Yeah.
I mean, you've never played into a contract year, too.
What's that?
He's never played into a contract year, too. I mean, obviously, with his career, he shouldn't have to. But, I mean, I guess I'm not surprised. I know we were all kind of hoping that he would retire after the Super Bowl, but I mean, for years now, he said, I want to play into my mid-40s, and this is him just kind of, putting a little mark on what he said. And, I mean, why should he retire? I mean, it sucks, I know he's going to go down as, the greatest quarterback to ever play the game, but, I mean, he stayed healthy ever since his big injury over 10 years ago. So, I mean, he's staying healthy. He's still putting his team in the AFC Championship game, for 8 straight years, and now he's in the Super Bowl for the 9th time. I mean, why not? I mean, if he's going to give your franchise an opportunity to win more rings, I mean, it's a great move, fortunately.
Right, exactly. So
his fucking career is going to crash and burn like Joe Montana's did when he went to Kansas City. It's not going to end well. Tom Brady's legacy. He's not going to retire on that team. Well, he may retire with that team, but he may not retire on that team. It's just like, if he truly believes he's going to play till he's 45, he's fucking nuts. And I feel like he's getting all like stubborn and big-headed because Adam Vinatieri's doing it. And I don't know. That or the NFL's fucking rigged, because I won't know what to believe anymore if the quarterback can play till he's 45 years old. That just doesn't make any sense to me anymore. And I don't understand. It's like the NFL doesn't want to let go of him. So they're like, dude, just play a couple more years. Our ratings are at their best. Can you give us a little bit longer until we find the guy to the NFL hates, so we can get those TV ratings consistent? I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, but I mean, the guy wants to continue with it. And he's had, a fairly good season. I wouldn't say it was great by any standards, but he threw 29 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. I mean, another really good season. Where is he in terms of career touchdowns at the quarterback position? That's what I want to see. 1 second here.
Might be why he's trying to go after.
Yeah. Let's see. Passing. That playoff. Yeah, we know he's the leader in playoff passing. I don't give a fuck about that. I want to see active career touchdowns. No. Where the fuck is it? Sometimes I wish this website worked a little bit better. All right, here we go. Passing touchdowns in a career. Tom Brady is currently 3rd. He is 3 behind Drew Brees. and Drew Brees is second all time to Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning has 539. Drew Brees has 520. Drew Brees has 520. Tom Brady has 517. And then the next closest, like in terms of active players to that, is Philip Rivers at 374. That's insane. Think about that. That's insane. That the difference between a guy who was drafted 4 years before the other guy is about 140 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's insane to me. Yeah, that's crazy. So, but yeah, I could see it. Wow, Matthew Stafford's 28th all time in touchdowns. That's crazy. Hey, look at that. Joe Flacco is tied with Terry Bradshaw and Matt Hasselbeck.
Elite status.
Yeah, then it's Matt Ryan's 5 touchdowns away from number 300. Aaron Rodgers is at 338, and then you got Manning, Roethlisberger, and Rivers at 8, 7, and 6. So, but yeah, do you all agree that they should sign him to a contract extension or no?
I mean, I don't agree with anything they're doing, so I might as well just say that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, maybe for 2 years max. I mean, I don't know. I can't see anything outside.
Well,
of
he's about to be he's about to be what, 42?
42, yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to get a 3-year extension, but play until he's 45.
2-year with a 30-year option.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just when we thought was all over.
Well, they could be big. They could be big players in terms of the. They could be big players in terms of the. I was gonna say transfer market. I'm thinking soccer. What the fuck? They could be big players in terms of the quarterback market for this year if they want to get a quarterback of the future this year. They have a bunch of picks coming up in this year's draft, as fucking always they do. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know how to grade it. I don't know how to leave off from that. That's just, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth because I don't want to deal with Tom Brady anymore. I'm ready for the new generation of footballers to begin. Like, I'm ready for the Mahomes, Goff, Trubisky, Deshaun Watson. Like, I'm ready for that to begin. I'm sick of Brady and Breeze and Rivers and Roethlisberger. Their time's done. Fucking retire already. Let me get to my new quarterbacks, please and thank you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's what I said, man. It feels like the NFL is like waiting for someone to emerge. It's like ugh.
Yeah. Don't like it. So, all right. I think that about does it for news. Unless did anybody else see anything that was interesting or want to talk about anything? Oh, the Bears. I guess the Bears have a new kicker that's going to be brought in for the competition. We were talking about that a little bit earlier in the week. What's his name? Redford Jones.
Yeah, some redneck ass name.
AKA fucking Aaron Taylor Johnson. I swear to God, I don't know if you guys had to have seen it, right? Like, especially with the hair as between him and Quicksilver, or Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver, they look the fucking same. Am I insane or no?
Nah, I saw it, man, for sure.
Yeah.
But he definitely, if he somehow like snags that job, he'll be the sexiest starting kicker in the NFL.
You're saying that Garrett Hartley wasn't a sexy kicker?
No, I'm saying now.
I will always love that story. So that's a story. That's another story for another day, and that's an inside joke right there. God, could you imagine what would you do if the Bears ever were like, "Hey, we're just gonna sign this guy Garrett Hartley to be our kicker"? Like, what would you do? What would you have done, Brownson? Would you have been like?
I would have reached out. I would have done my damnness to at the fuck at him.
Be like, listen, okay, I may have done some stuff with your cousin, but make this fucking field goal.
Yeah,
all is forgiven. Okay, so that finally leads us into this, the big game, the mecca of all sports games that there is, which is, of course, Super Bowl 53. As we know, it is the Rams versus the Patriots. I can't remember who's the home team and who's the away team. I know it doesn't matter, but I think the Rams are the home team technically because
seeing more of the yellow jerseys, man.
Oh God, their alternate uniforms should just be their permanent uniforms because those are some goddamn gorgeous ass uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
They're wearing the throwbacks, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those throwback uniforms are so pretty. That's what I want is more throwback uniforms because fuck your bullshit whatever. I want more throwback uniforms because that shit's gorgeous. So
Yeah.
Either way, like we talked about last week, it's old school versus new school. It's the chosen quarterback with Jared Goff versus the quarterback nobody wanted, Tom Brady. It's a Hall of Famer versus the fucking
Future.
versus the future. It's everything that you could ask for in terms of a storyline, which we talked about before. The NFL's fucking rigged. The NFL is more rigged than pro wrestling.
At this point, I believe it.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ. I don't know what else we have to do, but, yeah, I don't know. I will say this, is that it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to work out like this, and tell me if I'm wrong, okay? I think the Patriots are going to go out, and if they get the ball first, they're going to do what they did exactly to Kansas City. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to do an okay job of it because you have to worry about Aaron Donald. You have to worry about Ndamukong Suh. Before, against the Chiefs, all you had to worry about was Chris Jones. Chris Jones was an All-Pro, and he was a Pro Bowler this year, but that's just one guy. Now you got to deal with arguably one of the most dominant defensive tackles of all time in Aaron Donald, and an equally powerful force in Ndamukong Suh. Plus, you can't really almost run to the outside because Dante Fowler is playing fucking lights out like he wants a contract, which we knew that he was going to want because, he's a free agent. And that's kind of what you play for in the football. You don't play for wins, you play for money. Some players play for money, some players play for wins. I think Dante Fowler plays for money. So, either way. But I think that if they can work out some runs, work on some dink and dunks or whatever, they're going to control that first half. The Rams need to make sure that they play possession football as well. And by that, I mean, don't do what Kansas City did, which was basically just get the ball down the field as quick as possible and score quick touchdowns. No, you're going to tire your defense out. Play possession football. Give Todd Gurley, give C.J. Anderson some love, and run down the heart of their defense as well. I think the first half is going to be, I will say, 14-10 Patriots. And then the second half is going to be fucking bonkers. It's going to be both teams just trading shots with each other and doing their best to contend with each other until I think my prediction is that the Patriots will come out victorious. I don't want that to happen. I think the Rams, I think highly of the Rams, and I would love for the Rams to win. Especially for Aaron Donald, especially for Sean McVay. Jared Goff would prove all his vindicators wrong, all that stuff. But yeah, I would hope that the Rams win. But if they don't win, then I think the Patriots will win. That's my prediction. Is that the Patriots win? I'll go with a final score of, let's say, 34-30.
Okay.
I don't know who wants to go. I don't care. Who goes.
I'll go. That was very well thought out, Max. I definitely agree with you in just about all of it. Fun little fact: Patriots are 3-1 in Super Bowls when they wear their white jerseys, which they are wearing. And I am also taking the Patriots. I think Tom Brady is we're going to hear Tom Brady is the oldest quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. This would be what, number 6?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, he is what, 6 and he would be 6-3 right now. He's 5-3, which again I don't think we'll ever see ever in this entire world. Is the fact that we'll never see another quarterback go, fucking let alone win 5 Super Bowls or 6 Super Bowls. I don't think we'll see another quarterback go to 9 Super Bowls and possibly a 10th next year if they readjust their team. So this is a very, very good team, and of course, like we said, very good quarterback. So, John?
The only reason why I would pick the Patriots is mainly because they lost last year in the big game, and they want to come back and be like, okay, we got this one. But I don't give a shit about that. I'm going to say my big, bold prediction is I know that this happened when the Rams were in St. Louis, but I feel like it's going to come down to a late field goal. And my man, Greg Zuerlein, is going to drill it as time expires. And the Rams win 37-34.
Wow. So you're going with the Rams.
Yeah.
Wow, that's XX.
Give it
What?
I don't want to pick the Patriots. No, I refuse to. Even if that is a more logical, pick. But I don't know. I mean, the Patriots... they came close to losing last week, and that was against one of the lowest ranked defenses in the league. I mean, I know that they have the best, one of the top offenses, but I mean, the Rams have a legit defense. I'm sure that's not going to scare Brady at all. He's done it all, but I don't know. I feel like, it's going to come down to the end, and I feel like Zerline's going to drill another one. Maybe it'll be 60 yards. Who knows? I mean, he could have drilled it from 60 last week.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just going bold here.
I like it, John. But remember the last time that you went bold, you kind of lost the season picks there for a while.
Yeah, but second time's a charm. That's what I'm saying.
He's not playing for anything now.
Exactly. So I got to go with who I'd rather see, other than In all honesty, I mean, I will say I have a hard time believing that the Patriots are going to lose another Super Bowl in back-to-back years, but I'd love to see it.
Yeah. That's our prediction. So we've got 2 for Patriots, 1 for Ram. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. This is a very fun game. Super Bowl is always fun, no matter who plays in it, and yeah, I'm excited. So
I just hope the commercials are fun.
What's that?
I just hope the commercials are fun.
Yeah, the commercials. I'm so upset. Speaking of which, and then we'll end this podcast. But I'm so upset and I knew it wasn't going to be a second Big Lebowski, but I'm so upset that it's not a second Big Lebowski.
You're telling me. I work in a bowling alley, so I've been hearing that shit ever since. And they're like, oh man, there's going to be a second Big Lebowski. And in my head, I'm like, dude, I really hope. But nope. We got trolled.
Yep. Yep. You got trolled. I got trolled. We all got trolled with it. So, all right. That about does it. So, for the fine people of podcast land, John, where can they find you on social media platforms?
Find me more active than ever on Twitter at NERRRICH, and I'm also on Instagram under the same handle. Don't really post too much on there outside of my cat, but that's where you can find me.
All right. And Bronson, where can find people at Podcast Land find you?
You can find me on Twitters at Bronsonius, Bronson IOUS. You can find me on Instagram at ChefmanBronson, and you can now find this here lovely podcast on Instagram at Pass Interference Podcast.
Boom.
Yes. I was going to plug that as well. For those of you who are still tuned in and listening, we now have an Instagram, Pass Interference Podcast, where I believe John and Bronson are going to be doing Instagram Live with it, I think, for the Super Bowl. They're doing something with it. I don't know. We haven't really discussed yet, but yeah, it'll be interesting.
We're going to chug a beer every touchdown.
I mean, if I wasn't working, I'd be down for that, but you know. can't really chug beers at my job, so can't do that. But
bring a flask.
What you can do is follow me on Twitter at OGLiquidJesus, and you can follow me on Instagram at OGLiquidJesus. That's right, I finally changed my name because I was sick of having two different names, and it's just easier to have. So yeah, you can follow me on both platforms at OG Liquid Jesus. Of course, you can follow this podcast on Facebook for any updates, polls, questions you may have, stuff like that. At Pass Interference Podcast, you can send us a Twitter question at P_I_podcast. And of course, and just like what Bronson said, we now have an Instagram where you can follow us at Pass Interference Podcast on Instagram. So, from all of us to you, have a safe Super Bowl Sunday. Drink lots of beer, eat lots of chicken wings, and laugh at some funny commercials. So, with that, bye-bye!
Have a good time.